You're listening to Cross Rhythms Plymouth. I'm Luke, and I'm joined in the studio via Zoom with Laura, one half of our Atlantic Roots. Hi.
Hey.
Hey. So you're joining us today to chat about your new song, Joy in the Journey. So tell us a little bit how you got that going. How did the song start and things?
Yeah, cool. So Mac actually wrote this song. He wrote it on his 30th birthday. Well, he started writing it on his 30th birthday. And I guess when you hit those big birthday milestones, you get thinking about life and time and all the things you want to achieve, the things you haven't achieved. You know, you start kind of goal setting and things like that. And it just kind of got him thinking about, you know, where he is in life and some of the things that he expected he would have done and achieved by 30. You know, when you're a kid, 30 seems like so old. And now we're like, oh my gosh, we're here. So Mac just started to kind of ponder on those things. And he was feeling a little bit discouraged and a little bit kind of down about some of the things that he hadn't achieved in life. But then he started to think about the fact that actually, you know, the joy of life is in the journey, and it's so easy to miss the joy in the everyday because we can get so focused on like achieving goals and being in a certain place, and then suddenly your life's passed you by, and you know, we don't want to live in a place of regretting like not having enjoyed every day and the journey of actually reaching those goals because we've been so focused on them, if that makes sense. So he started to kind of ponder on that, and that's where the lyrics of this song came from. And it kind of came quite quickly, this song. It was one that I kind of came in and did a little bit of editing afterward, but he just came to me and was like, hey, I've written this whole song. And he wrote it pretty quickly. So I guess he was really inspired, and this just came out. So yeah, we're grateful to be able to have shared it out in the world, and people have been able to relate to the lyrics. I think it's quite a relatable subject. I think a lot of people feel like that sometimes.
Yeah. Well, so then a follow-up question being kind of, how did you connect with the song? As you said, if Mac initially was the one that kind of came to you with an entire song, how did you connect? And then, as you said, did a little bit of editing and...
Yeah. Well, I felt like I connected with the lyrics straight away because it's something that I've thought about as well a lot. And I'm 4 years older than Mac. So I feel like, you know, I've definitely been there, hitting my 30th birthday, and kind of every birthday, every little milestone, you kind of, you know, think about these things. And to be honest, I'm quite a goal-orientated person. I love to make goals, and kind of, I am the list queen. I have lists everywhere of like how are we gonna like move forward in our career and things like that, and just life in general. So I could relate a lot to the lyrics because I personally do feel like I'm quite often rushing through life with a busy, hectic schedule, and actually the song lyrics are a nice reminder to find the joy in the journey and to just like slow down. We've written a lot of songs on this subject of time and slowing down and making the most of every moment, because I think it's something that, to be honest, we're very challenged on ourselves all the time, and it's something that we want to remind ourselves of. So I connected with the lyrics, and then I can't remember exactly kind of the suggestions that I made to Mac when he first came to me with the song, but I definitely edited a little bit. But to be honest, I think this was one of those songs that he just came with, and I was like, wow, that's great. You know, when he comes to me with a full song, I'm like, brilliant, happy days.
Yeah. So on the kind of more technical side of things, had Mac kind of done all of the lyrics first, or was it kind of he got some music going as well at the same time, or was that one of the things you brought in when he brought the lyrics to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of times when he's songwriting, he'll be sat down with his guitar in his hands. He usually had his guitar in his hands. And he was writing the chord structure and the guitar part at the same time as the lyrics. Well, what he had an inspiration for a guitar part, and then he'd kind of, you know, sit on his phone and write out some lyrics Mac's more of a typer. I'm traditional pen and paper, but Mac's like always typing out lyrics and things on his phone, his ideas. So he kind of was doing it simultaneously, really, like writing the guitar part and then writing the lyrics. And then the song developed further from there when we got into the studio with our producer for this song, Stian. He's worked with us on a lot of our music, and he is an absolute wizard at like building further instrumentation and like building this big soundscape. And the song itself has quite an experimental flavor, I feel like, with the sounds. A cool thing about like one of the sounds in the song that we developed together is actually the sound of a clock ticking at various points in the song. So we've used that to kind of as like percussion, really, as an extra layer of percussion, is an actual clock ticking since the song's about time. So yeah, we worked with him to kind of develop the song in the studio, and that's kind of something that the three of us work on together. Stian makes it happen with all the like technical side of things, and he is so fast. He works incredibly fast, and he's very talented when it comes to like building instrumentation. But Mac and I are kind of helping to direct that whole time in the studio and like sharing ideas, and it's just a really cool creative time. So that's where we built up the song. So it starts with acoustic guitar and vocals, and then that's where we really build it up.
Nice. Well, that looks like a good place to stop. We shall be back with Laura after this next song. In fact, as we've been chatting about it, we shall play Joy in the Journey by Our Atlantic Roots now. And we're back. That was Joy in the Journey by Our Atlantic Roots, who I am joined in the studio with, or at least one half of them. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
So last time you were interviewed here on the station, you had recently gone kind of full-time musician, full-time kind of indie musician, aren't you?
Yeah.
And so, well, tell us a little bit about that journey kind of initially.
Yeah. So Mac and I at one point both had three jobs each to try and, pay the bills and reinvest back into music, because making music is very expensive, and especially when you're doing it well. And there are so many different aspects that, people might not think about. Lots of bits, lots of boring bits as well, lots of admin. But we got to the point where we just were basically hitting our full capacity, doing three jobs each. And I remember when we were recording Little Bird EP, we'd be going into the office of our day jobs early at like 7 a.m. and then leaving at 3 p.m. so that we could go to the studio and start recording at like 5 p.m. and then we'd be in there until 11 at night and then back up again the next day. So it got to the point where it was very much unsustainable to be doing music and our day jobs, and it was always the plan to be able to do music full time so that we could really give it everything. So yeah, we've been doing that now for for me just over a year, and then Mac for a few years. But yeah, it's been a fun journey, but it's been very intense. Trying to make it work. But we're very, very grateful to be able to do music full time now. We have a very busy schedule. Well over 100 gigs a year. So there's a lot of work that goes on there behind the scenes to make it all happen.
Yeah. Well, so to keep it kind of more generic for the moment, how do you get the kind of majority of your money? Is it kind of doing all of the gigs and tours, or does all the streaming sites pay enough? I know that's a question. I think most of us are aware that they're not the but
yeah, sure. But it's a good question, and not everyone really knows the answer. I mean, and every musician is different as far as where they're getting the majority of their income from. At this stage for us, it's very much from performing live. But we do make money from streaming and downloads and things like that. But it is very minimal in comparison to the amount of streams that we're getting. So for people that don't know, we get paid, we being artists of all shapes and sizes get paid around, get paid between 0.003 and 0.05 pence per stream, depending on the platform and depending on the deal that the record label one's in a record label has with the distributor and the DSP, so like Spotify, Apple, Amazon. And but for a lot of independent artists, they get the absolute minimum amount applicable per stream, which is 0.003 pence. So to put that into perspective, to buy a can of baked beans, it's 333 streams.
Okay, wow.
Buy a £1 can of baked beans. That's the kind of example that we often use, because you think, wow, that's actually a lot of times listening to our music just to get £1. But actually, to record a song, the industry kind of standard, they say, is about £1,000. So to record a song, that's just a very kind of ballpark figure, because everyone and every song and situation is very different. But so that's 333,000 streams to record the song, and that's before you've even started marketing it. So actually, you have to get loads of streams. Close to like 1 million streams per song to start making money from streams. But streaming is still really important and is still very valuable for musicians. So for everyone that does listen to us and other musicians through like Spotify and things, it's still great. You know, we have a Spotify account as well. We listen to music through Spotify, but so it's great for marketing essentially, and helping get your music out there to people that wouldn't be able to hear your music otherwise. So it's very beneficial, but we don't get paid a lot at all through streaming, and we'd like to get paid more.
Yeah. I can imagine. And so is it kind of the bare minimum from the streaming and then just gigs, or are there other kind of streams that you guys are able to?
Yeah. So there are other ways that as an indie musician we can make money. So one of the main ways is through merch sales. So when we go to a gig and we obviously take merchandise with us and people buy that at the end of the gig, that is really, really helpful. We can oftentimes make as much money or close to as much money as the actual fee from the gig or the ticket sales just in merch sales afterwards, when it's been a particularly good gig with regards to merch sales. So that's great, and obviously that can help market us as well when people are wearing, the merch. So yeah, that's amazing. And obviously, like songwriting, commission songs. So if somebody wants us to write a song for something, this doesn't happen very regularly, but that's another way that indie musicians can make money, and then writing for other projects and working in collaboration with other artists and things like that, to make revenue. And I'm just trying to think if there are any other ways. They're probably the main ways, to be honest, like ticket sales, merchandise, streaming downloads. And it all of those things work together to make music possible, to make doing music full time possible for a lot of artists, indie artists. So yeah.
Cool. We shall take another break there, and we'll be back with Laura after this. And we're back. I'm still in the studio via Zoom with Laura from Our Atlantic Roots. And so in the last section, we were chatting in more generic terms about kind of how you guys make a living and are able to go on being musicians. So to get into a bit more specifics for yourself and Mac, where can we find you and how can we support you?
That's a great question. So we are on most of the social media platforms. You'll find us by searching Our Atlantic Roots. We particularly love Instagram. That's where we hang out the most, but we're on Facebook as well. And somewhat reluctantly TikTok. We're trying to get better at it. But you will find us on there. And various other social media platforms. So do connect with us through there. Obviously, liking and commenting and sharing our posts is helpful. That helps get the word out. And when it comes to music, you can find us on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Tidal, YouTube, wherever you listen, you'll find us. by searching Our Atlantic Roots. And we have a website, ouratlanticroots.com, and on there you can find our tour dates. So our ticketed gigs are on that page. We do local gigs in Devon and Cornwall that are free and kind of smaller gigs in little venues. So if you're local to Devon and Cornwall, you can sometimes find those, and we promote those on our social media, Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, ticketed events are on our website, and buying tickets to those is always incredibly helpful. We will be playing in Plymouth at some point in the not too distant future, so keep your eyes out there. The end of I think we're going to be playing in the B Bar. Do you know the B Bar in the theatre in town? Yeah, we'll be playing there at some point, probably in the autumn. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, our website also has a shop, so that's where you can find our merch. And as we were just talking then about the importance of kind of supporting through buying merchandise, you can do that through our website. We have various things on there, and we love to support small businesses as well, so we're looking always to partner with small businesses to create merchandise that is ethical and sustainable and actually, you know, good quality things that we would be proud to wear and have and use ourselves. We definitely rep our merch, like always got the hats on and things like that, especially Mac. So yeah, you can find us on our website.
Cool. Just going back to the merch, as you said, you kind of partnered with lots of kind of independent other artists in other ways, and tried to keep things a lot more sustainable.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about that, because obviously if people buy your merch, it's not kind of the fast fashion, it's going to get ripped and binned.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You actually have gone out your way to partner with people and find stuff that is good quality and genuinely nice. As you say, you want to find things you're willing to wear as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we don't like cutting corners when it comes to things like sustainability, and some items are actually pretty hard to find sustainable options for. So, for example, beanies. It's really hard to find beanies we found that are actually like not acrylic and plastic, basically. And we wanted to find some organic cotton beanies. They're obviously more expensive, but they are quality. And so we've got some beanies now. We're going to be uploading those to our website shortly. But yeah, we're always also looking to support small businesses, because for us as a small business, we know how important it is to get sales to do what we do. And I used to also, I don't do this at the moment because things have got too busy with the music, but I used to run an Etsy shop myself, creating prints, like doing artwork and creating prints and cards. So I know exactly what it's like to be a small business owner, and I love, you know, when people would purchase things from me, I would definitely be that person doing a little happy dance, you know, because every sale really does make a difference. So if we can do that for the people and not just throw our money to a big company, but actually support small, you know, support the local economy as well where we can. We support other brands that are outside of Cornwall, but when we can support like our very local economy as well, that just is like a win-win. And then fans around the world order our merchandise, and it's quite cool because they're buying it, like they're getting it from our home, you know, from very locally made like products. So yeah, it's not all of our products are made locally, but the ones that we can, we do.
Yeah, amazing. I've got one of your jumpers, so I can second that they are amazing jumpers, and yeah, quality.
We're very good.
It quickly became one of my favourite jumpers. So.
Oh yay! Yeah, we wear ours all the time as well.
Yeah. Cool. So we shall end it there. Thank you for joining us. This has been Laura from Our Atlantic Roots. See ya.
Thanks very much.